Well, it's been a long winter here in Bruce County, very cold January and February, and it's given me some time to reunite some of the radio chassis I've been working on with some of the cabinets that I finished in the previous summer. So this one is a 1937 Stromberg Carlson 250L. This I bought for $20, and it was a bit of a project because a lot of the veneers were lifting, needed a couple of feet for it. The feet that were on it are laminated wood, so the backs had just chipped right off them, so they needed to be repaired. It's a big radio, a heavy radio. The cabinet, I would estimate, weighs about 50 to 60 pounds, and the radio itself has to weigh all of that. So you can see some of the veneers lifted here. And a lot of these radios, almost the front of them was almost like a kick plate. People would walk up to the front of them with their shoes on, and not intentionally, but by accident, knock chips of the veneer off the bottoms of the radios. Here it is with just getting started on the stripping process. Do a lot of this work in my backyard in the summertime when it's nice and warm. Part of the fun was finding a way to make up the new water slides when the radio was completed, but I had success there. Here it is stripped down with a coat or two of lacquer on it. Really nice veneers. These radios, this one in particular was made, the cabinet was made at Malcolm Furniture, either in Kincardine or William, I'm not sure which. And the radio was built on Geary Avenue in Toronto. So here it's all taped up, ready to be toned. And there it is after all of the toning's been completed and several coats of lacquer on it. And you can see at the bottom, I put a new, what I'm going to call kick plate on it, made with some veneers. I bought it at Lee Valley. Was able to find a new dial cover in the States, $20, and they shipped it up to me. There's the back plate on it, and here's the insides of it the way it came. It had been recapped at one time. All the big caps on the top of it had been replaced with this type of thing, but they were all hanging in here loose and some connections floating. Wasn't the prettiest thing to try to decipher, and it's a fairly big and complicated radio, so I really had to take my time and study it, being relatively new to this hobby. Some more of the old caps. No shortage of capacitors in this radio. And there's the finished product. All new electrolytics, all new capacitors, any out of spec resistors have been replaced. It is sitting on my little workbench in the garage. Magic eye tube finally lit up on it. And there's the bag of all the parts and pieces that have been replaced in this radio. Top view. It's a 13 tube radio, so no shortage of working parts on it. And these radios had an acoustical labyrinth, kind of a sound chamber, let's call it, in order to knock down the bass. You can see at the very side, at the bottom right hand side of the cabinet, you can see the veneer peeling off the side of it, and same on the bottom. And you can also see that the acoustical labyrinth itself is gone, probably because it became a mouse trap, and there were little critters hiding in it. So that is a picture of the labels that are on the back of these radios describing the acoustical labyrinth. And because the labyrinth was gone in this, I decided I would try to replace it / rebuild it. And this was my take on it. And there's the finished labyrinth and radio reassembled. You can see at the very top there's kind of a white mark at the very top of the back of the cabinet where there used to be a sticker from the Andrew Malcolm Furniture Factory that it's one thing I'm still looking for. That is a picture of what the original labyrinth would have looked like. Basically a cardboard box with some material in it to knock down the sound. There's some old material on the radio. You can see at the side here that the 250L is the model that we're looking at here today. And there's the last piece of the puzzle that I'm looking for, is the Malcolm embossed label that would have been on the back years ago. So I'm trying to find it. Anyway, here's the finished product. Very nice looking radio. Like I said, it's a heavy radio. The station on it is kind of nice because it's got its patina intact. Didn't bother shining it up or anything like that. It looks pretty nice the way it is. And you can see the elaborate little flowers and things on it. Got the sides glued down and cleaned up, and pretty happy with how it's come out. So let's give it a listen here. Sorry, before we do that, just show you got the labels back on it. Okay, let's give it a listen. And what I'm going to do is just show you how the automatic frequency control seems to work on this thing. You'll see the magic eye tube basically snap to attention when you get close to a station. It'll lock it on. So there it is on AM. And I've also put a 3.5mm jack in it, so I could play some streaming music on it. So I'm reaching in the back here and just flicking the switch for it. So there you go. Flipped over to the 3.5mm jack connected to a Bluetooth device. So there you have the 1937 Stromberg Carlson 250L.